Hey guys, the documentary you're about to watch was shot over a couple of years by the amazing crew at Camera and Shots. A couple of years ago, Superteam was an initiative that we started to provide earning opportunities in the world of Web3 for technical, that is developers, and non-technical talent. We always believe that the way to participate in Web3 is not through speculating, but by creating and coding. India, of course, as we all know, has a very vibrant, young, enthusiastic developer talent who are not just great by Indian standards, but also by world standards. And so we decided to go to companies from around the world and ask them for bounties and grants that could be provided for the Superteam developers. And today I'm glad to share that the hundreds of developers in the Superteam ecosystem have earned over $2.5 million by working for companies around the world. This documentary follows the story of some such amazingly talented Superteam developers, and I hope that their story resonates with some of you. Enjoy.
Lockdown 2020, when everything was closed and everyone was getting bored.
I can't express how perfect COVID was for me.
COVID-19 has changed the education system of the country. Schools, colleges and universities have moved on to online classes.
लॉकडाउन में भी बच्चों की पढ़ाई जारी रहे, इसके लिए स्कूल और कोचिंग संस्थान ऑनलाइन क्लासेस ले रहे हैं.
It was even more terrible than taking classes offline.
आई थिंक देखिए स्क्रीन टाइम बढ़ गया था सभी बच्चों का, राइट? तो स्क्रीन टाइम बढ़ने से क्या हुआ, एक पाथ चेंज हो गया ऑटोमेटिकली.
Access to internet gave access to a lot of other things.
बस कमरे में बंद अपना कुछ न कुछ करता रहा.
That was the turning point in 2020, just 2 years back, that he started his journey in coding.
कोडिंग कर रहा है बोल के भी पता नहीं था. ये हम लोग के लिए टोटली एक सरप्राइज था.
I currently work in the cryptocurrency industry. Right now I am earning a US salary sitting in third world country. So definitely it has changed my life.
As long as you can put your hands on a keyboard, you're a potentially productive person in Web3.
If someone's really skilled, finding a way to demonstrate that is really not very hard.
And so there's a way in which crypto has become kind of a rallying point for a younger generation to work on something that is new and different.
Clearly, he looks like a 14-year-old. And then he's like talking to you about things that just don't seem like 14-year-old things.
He's having, I think, around 35,000 odd followers on Twitter.
There's a real intense war going on right now for developers.
We were always like this IT superpower. The talent was always here. खिड़की के बाहर झांक के देखोगे तो 10 devs तो मिलेंगे ही तुमको.
I do understand why people are skeptical. It's a fact that people lose money, but with high risk comes high reward. You take that trade-off by definition.
So boring before 2020, nothing happening. Like the entire world got flipped after 2020. Previously, I built a few tools, and this got really popular on GitHub. Actually, it's close to 100 stars now. So yeah, this was. So this is a normal keyboard, but it's making the sound of a mechanical one.
You really like mechanical keyboards.
I started with building like a YouTube video downloader. So I wanted one for myself, but I couldn't find any. So I thought it shouldn't be too hard, right? I should just write it and I should be good to go.
हमारी कम्युनिकेशन जनरली क्या होती, टाइमिंग्स नहीं मिलती थी, वो लोग रात को काम करते थे, तो ज़्यादातर कम्युनिकेशन हम लोग की वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन नहीं होती थी, थ्रू मेल। उसकी कुछ रिक्वायरमेंट भी होती थी, मेल के थ्रू बोलता था कि ये चाहिए, मिलेगा क्या। 2014 की आया, तो दुर्गा पूजा में जैसे कि टॉय गन होती है ना, तो उसको टॉय गन की इच्छा थी। उसने लिखा कि पापा जी मेरे को ये गन मिलेगी क्या, उसने लिंक भेजा था, तो मेरा एक रिप्लाई था नो। ये उस समय 9 इयर्स का।
कुनाल इधर आ, क्या कर रहे?
I've been coding since like the last 8 years. The first bug that I found was from Twitter. The media that you share on Twitter was never deleted. So if someone had the link to your video, anyone could still view it. So they rewarded me like $560, which was huge at the moment, to be honest. But when I tell you about the second one, it was nothing. I won $25,000 from Solana. Till date, I think when I posted about the bug bounty, that is my most popular tweet ever. So there was this Discord server of a YouTuber called Logically Answered. We basically met through that server. So he was just a random stranger on the internet. I didn't even know who he was. He was anonymous until like a year or something.
So this is Bolt. He's my cat. He's a good cat, but sometimes he does weird stuff like he's doing right now. He's deliberately trying to escape from me. Yo, calm down, Bolt. Yo, he's licked my hand. Earlier when I got into internet, I really wanted to stay anonymous. The thing which I used to think is that I want people to completely judge me on the basis of the way I talk and my personality. I don't want any external factors to really change their mind or think of anything else. So whether it be my nationality, my age, I don't want anyone to talk to me differently because they think I'm a kid or anything, because back then I was 13. Cool. Chemistry too. When I was in 8th standard, I started to code. So it was during the lockdown time because I was having a lot of time since the classes hours were way less. I learned JavaScript on my own. So I learned basics all by just building projects, reading code, asking questions about Kunal that, hey, what does it do? What does this mean? How I do this in Python? How do I do this in JavaScript?
Yeah.
It's been a while since I played CSGO. Do you want to play it together once?
Yeah, sure. Let's play it this weekend, I guess. So tomorrow's when's Sunday? We can play it on Sunday.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Do you want to play as a team or just one? जितना मैं कुणाल से बात करता हूँ किसी से नहीं करता हूँ.
We can just play.
लोगों को लगता है कि भाई एक कॉमन मतलब पर्सपेक्टिव है कि जो फ्रेंडशिप होती है ज़्यादा रियल लाइफ इंटरेक्शन से ही बनती है, लेकिन ऑनलाइन फ्रेंडशिप भी बहुत मतलब अच्छी बन सकती है. सो कुणाल और मेरा बहुत अच्छा एग्जांपल हो गया. तो हमेशा मैं जैसे खोलता मैं टॉप लेफ्ट में आई होती है, मुझे पता है कुणाल का आइकन वहाँ पर होगा विद सम नोटिफिकेशन. मुझे पता होता है कुणाल का डेफिनेटली होगा ही होगा. सो बिल्कुल बहुत अच्छा दोस्त है. My first project, which was fairly successful, was a Discord bot called StellarSOL, a multiplayer type racer. You can just connect with anyone from any Discord server and just start a type racing game. Then I applied for Instagram, and that was basically a Solana dashboard. So that dashboard could basically show all your transactions, all your tokens in the form of charts.
Before pandemic, I used to be a studious guy. Had good grades in school and everything. So at that time, I was in class 10th. That was the year when I got a new laptop and started exploring other stuff. Crypto, I started around mid of 2020 because it was more like a price hype at the moment. Because I had the programming experience, I started exploring the tech about it.
I think a lot of people found themselves stuck inside and they were curious about trying something new. I think like the thing that we saw across the pandemic is it broke patterns.
And so there's a way in which crypto has become kind of a rallying point for a younger generation to work on something that is new and different than what their parents were into.
I came to know that he is working in cryptos. So, थोड़ा मुझे लगा naturally cryptos very volatile currency and how it impacts the economy, and so many governments have not legalized it. Keeping those in things, I was a bit shaky at what kind of work he is doing, and then I tried to talk to him more. I just kept on understanding that what kind of work it should be ethical. There should not be any legal issues. He said that no, I'm in the development side, and development side can be applied to any of the work in this kind of programming. And then I allowed him to go. It's completely fine.
Web3 ने जो है बहुत एनहांस किया है जो अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ हैं उनको मिलने से, मतलब Web3 से पहले मैं मतलब बहुत कम अर्न कर रहा था, मैं छोटे मोटे डिस्कॉर्ड बना के, वैसे वो साइड वर्क था। Web3 तो बिल्कुल बहुत बड़ा एक जंप दे दिया है, लेकिन इतनी सारी अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ है कि मतलब कुछ भी ले सकते हैं।
Now let's keep all of that aside. What is Web3? It's the internet of ownership. Is likely a good way to put it.
Web 1 was read-only. All you could do is consume a static page and get information out of it. Web 2 added read-write ability. So not only can I read data from the internet, I can write data back to the internet. And the thing people are talking about with Web 3 is it adds ownership to that mix.
So almost everything that we see with Web3 today is an abstraction of ownership.
This industry emerged from the ethos of Bitcoin, which was you wanted to have a ledger that you could not corrupt.
Bitcoin is a digital currency. The simplest way to think about it is basically like an Excel spreadsheet. All it is a ledger of who owns what at what time. And every time you send a Bitcoin transaction, you're just updating the spreadsheet to say that, oh, Kash has $100 today, he has $102 tomorrow. Bitcoin is called a blockchain because the transactions, the updates to the Excel spreadsheet happen in blocks, and each block is added sequentially. So there's one block that says this is the truth at 10:10 p.m. and there's another block that comes after it that says this is the truth at 10:20. And they form this interlinked chain. All of it is public by default, so at any given time, anybody can look at the 10:20 block and say, oh, does this make sense with what happened at 10:10, at 10 o'clock, and so on, all the way back to the very first Bitcoin.
But really what it was proposing an economic system that was governed by its participants rather than a central power.
You cannot be a user of a platform without being an owner. If I want to be a part of the Solana community, I need to pay for my transaction fees in Solana tokens. And so that means that you have even just some very small upside in the success of that platform. You are a 0.00001% owner of the network when you hold tokens in that network.
So it was very purposely an attempt to build an alternative financial system which would be purer, which would be able to be fully public, fully transparent, in which this kind of backroom dealing would not be possible. A lot of the early kind of crypto people explicitly drew on the 2008 financial crisis as a reason to create a new economic future.
The American financial system is rocked to its foundation as top Wall Street institutions topple under a mountain of debt.
Tens of thousands of people have taken part in a global protest over the financial crisis. Rallies have been held in more than 80 countries, with protesters venting their anger against corporate greed and economic inequality.
Thousands of people occupied Times Square. Dozens were arrested.
People felt like, hey, our money is not necessarily safe with the people that are overlooking it currently, and it's highly permissioned to be able to access the money and all sorts of bad things. So they wanted to create a trustless version of money that anybody could access no matter what nation state you were in, whether you had a bank account or not, and whether you wanted to be identified or not. So without 2008, there would be no Bitcoin, and without Bitcoin, there'd obviously be no cryptocurrencies.
Post-Bitcoin, there was a lot of experiments in what else this distributed ledger technology could be used for. And Ethereum was, kind of the next really big successful iteration of this. It allows anyone to create a program, to upload that program into the Ethereum blockchain, which then basically autonomously runs. From that Ethereum world, using those kind of very powerful concepts, there's been a lot of development across the space on every dimension.
So I'm in Dibrugarh right now. It's like easternmost town in India right now. It's very remote. And even previously you didn't have the internet. So you couldn't just work remotely or do any of that. You had to go outside to work. So young people never really thought of earning money before they actually completed their education.
There's no gatekeepers in Web3 and blockchain. People aren't asking, where'd you go to school? Where are you based? What languages do you speak? They're just looking at your code and they're saying like, wow, you've built some really awesome code. Like, would love to collaborate with you in building something.
So what we are building is the infrastructure, right? So at the core of any social media, the data model that you will have is the same across any new type of social media.
Most of my interaction with Kunal is remote. Kunal is like incredibly mature for his age, and he has an impeccable work ethic. Getting him on board was like a no-brainer decision. At Virtual, what we are essentially building is the underlying infrastructure for building any kind of social media.
I saw its GitHub and I had some free time. So I started contributing to its landing page. Sheikh was impressed with how quickly I managed to find the bugs and fix it. So he offered me a position there. Be it any part of the world, you can start working in this industry instantly. There's no entry barrier to this.
One of the biggest promises of the Web 0, Web 1, and Web 2 world was that anyone, anywhere in the world would be able to build products that would change the world. What's actually happened? Well, there's amazing tech companies, there's amazing Web 2 companies that have changed the world. They're all based in New York, or San Francisco, or Chicago, or in Delhi. They're all still centralized. And the beautiful thing about Web3 is there's a greater access to opportunity, that you can be a developer anywhere in the world and you can create a protocol that's got $1 billion of value.
Historically, all of the talent had to go to the big cities, but now it's that you can be in your small town city and be recognized globally.
So there are people sitting all around the world. Some of them maybe on a beach in Bali and they're doing remote work. Maybe some of them are in Dibrugarh, Assam, and they're doing equally good work.
सारे इवेंट्स कहाँ पे हो रहे हैं?
एरो सिटी। और फिर मैं चिंगारी वाली टीम के साथ भी घूमा, उनके सीटीओ के साथ लंच किया और कुछ क्वेश्चंस पूछे, उनको अच्छा लगा, सो ही ऑफर्ड मी अ जॉब। ही ऑफर्ड मी अ जॉब।
अच्छा।
पार्ट टाइम एट चिंगारी, मैनेजिंग प्रोडक्ट एंड गाड़ी टोकन। तो उसका भी फाइनलाइज नहीं किया है, उनको बाद में बताऊंगा।
You have a board now, 12th class. So better focus on this. Passion could be the thing. आप passion continue करो, but don't get into a committal job for now, at least for next 6 months.
मैं पहले 2 इंटर्नशिप कर लिया, तो साथ में मैनेज तो किया था। अभी एग्री नहीं करूँगा, कुछ टाइम बाद करूँगा। मैं उनको बोला एग्जाम्स के बाद बात करेंगे।
एग्जाम्स के बाद।
बेस्ट चीज़ है वहाँ पे हर किसी को पसंद आता जो वो करते हैं, कोई भी अपनी जॉब से परेशान नहीं है रेस्ट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड की तरह।
Which is fine, but
The growth exponential है वहाँ पे एकदम. Because everyone knows what to do without telling them.
I think अगर आप किसी ग्रुप में खड़े हैं, right? So definitely he is anyhow quite respected in his so-called blockchain related activities or Web3 related activities in the group, right? But दुनिया उसके बाहर भी है. पढ़ाई से ध्यान कम हुआ है, as we acknowledge आज तो काफ़ी ज़्यादा डिक्रीज साइड पे है. So if you say it was like 80-20 पहले, regular पढ़ाई versus something else, it became 60-40, 40-60, it shifted. 30-70 और आज शायद 20-80 हो गया वो. Regular पढ़ाई versus blockchain thing.
To reduce the emission, you need to collect lesser amount. Right?
Yeah.
So
एक्चुअली देखो, एजुकेशन तो बहुत ही मस्ट है और बहुत ही इम्पॉर्टेंट होती है. मैं चाहती हूँ कि ये अपना जो फैशन है उसको बरकरार रखे, साथ में एजुकेशन भी करे, ताकि इसको लॉन्ग टाइम में इनको कोई दिक्कत ना हो.
स्कूल ऑनलाइन चल रहे थे, बट वो ऑनलाइन क्लासेस में भी बहुत ज़्यादा इंटरेस्ट नहीं दिखा रहा था. बस हाँ, पास होना है, उसके अलावा ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं था.
क्या कर रहे थे?
डिग्री लेकर भी हमने देखा कि काफ़ी बच्चे जो हैं उसके बाद फिर सिर्फ डिग्री रहती है उनके पास में, उसके बाद फिर कुछ नहीं है. जो बेसिक एजुकेशन अप टू क्लास 10 और अप टू क्लास 12, जो आपको बेसिक एजुकेशन है वो होने के बाद में अगर आपको जिस चीज़ में इंटरेस्ट है, अगर आप उसको खुद कर पा रहे हैं, तो कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है कि आप कॉलेज में जाके आपको, अगर आप ये कॉमर्स ऑप्ट करते हैं या साइंस ऑप्ट करते हैं.
एलिजिबिलिटी और गेटवे मिलता है हमारी सोसाइटी में एक फॉर्मल एजुकेशन से, राइट? You could be one of the unique persons like the billionaires of the world without some of them don't have a formal education, but that is like once in millions, right? But if you see a larger piece, at least it is thought that you have a formal education and you are part of a larger group. You are able to stand in front of people, right? You cannot be like a 12th pass kind of a stuff for long term. So वो safety चाहिए, वो safety net चाहिए.
We've got a Bitcoin alert for you, the cryptocurrency blooming overnight.
Bitcoin breaking through record highs, clearing that $20,000 level.
Thousands of people coming in every day and purchasing their first crypto. So the way the market is growing is phenomenal and it's just rising and rising.
India now ranks at an 11th space among 154 nations.
More money and more excitement brings in more people, brings in more developers, brings in more money.
Bitcoin soaring to new record highs today, the cryptocurrency cracking the $40,000 mark.
It's just a question of how much bigger is it going to be?
Bitcoin leda lala coin switch pe.
These bull markets serve as marketing for the entire industry. Every time there's a new bull market, more people's attention is drawn to it.
Ape photos and monkey photo NFTs.
NFT sales quadrupled last year, now topping $500 billion.
People have wealth and it needs to go somewhere. And crypto is an alternative asset class that is new and that's exciting.
We have a new all-time high on our hands, just below $69,000.
And so the speculation actually does drive a lot of top talent, capital, investors, and ideas into the space.
गोवा का एक 13 वर्षीय भारतीय वंडर बॉय क्रिप्टो करेंसी में लाखों डॉलर का प्रबंधन करता है. 13 साल की उम्र में हम सब क्या कर रहे थे?
Gajesh is quite the phenomenon. He's basically become a celebrity over the last little while through his interactions with the crypto space.
You know, he's a poster extraordinaire.
He kind of blew up on the Twitter scene within crypto, which is where I think a large amount of the crypto community interacts.
You got to be very careful around Gajesh on Twitter because he could ruin us all in a day because he's just better at it than I am. I had made a joke on Twitter one time that I was like, oh, I'm so bad at trading, casual self-deprecation. He found my wallet, took a screenshot of my portfolio value, and then replied and said, I don't think you're so bad at trading because the number was going up and over. It's one of those times where his technical ability perhaps outpaces his social sensibilities of what is appropriate and what is not appropriate.
Hi, I'm Gajesh from Goa, 10 years old.
I think he completed around 50 or 60 online courses. Initially, when we took them for the admission, the biodata which we had enclosed was around 7 pages.
Yeah, they were surprised.
Hey, I'm Gajesh. I am intern at FTX. Previously, I launched 2 DeFi projects. One of them at the peak had $7 million of TVL. And I'm from Goa and I'm 14. The first DeFi protocol I built was Kach Finance, which was also called Polygaj. So this was like an experiment from me. It turned out very well, so I launched it in May when I was 13. In about a month, it had like $7 million of TVL, and probably that was the peak of the whole DeFi market. So, yeah. Later, I did a project called Taksh. Taksh started as no-loss lottery. It's where people deposit the money, we drive it to the best yield source. Then end of the week, we give 70% of the rewards earned to the people, and 30% is randomly given to 5 people.
As market 200 point, where as well?
Okay.
Nasdaq.
Nasdaq, to Motilal, Oswal. 15% down आहे तो. आम्ही घेतला
model build करून decision घेतला.
Is development of a lot of constructs within the crypto space, within the funding kind of environment, within, larger understanding of capital markets, regulation is so advanced. But he's simultaneously a 14-year-old. When you see somebody like that who's so young, who has so much energy and potential and talent, I think it's a natural instinct for everyone to want to get behind him, to be wind in his sails.
I used to publish the code on GitHub, open source it. Armani used to love this code and he used to retweet. Armani mentioned about me to Aaron. And then Aaron DM'd me, hey, why don't you come to the Bahamas? Then I searched, is Bahamas safe? Then the result was Bahamas is the most unsafe country in North America, which was oh, damn, okay.
This was the scene 6 months ago in the Bahamas. That person in shorts is, of course, FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried, otherwise known as SBF. He's seen here with Bahamian Prime Minister Philip Davis, breaking ground at the site set for FTX's global headquarters.
Bankman-Fried founded the quantitative trading firm Alameda Research in 2017. 2 years later, he started FTX, an exchange platform for buying or selling cryptocurrencies.
The arrival and presence of FTX underscores the readiness of the Bahamas to be a home for global leaders in the crypto space.
We have never let him even to stay for the night in his own uncle's place, which is just around 1 kilometer away. Okay, so to send him to such a other side of the globe, other side of the hemisphere, it was a different thing for us.
I see him every day, in the Bahamas. Really down to earth. I can't express how humble person he is. Gajesh, just because you are a Bahamian now doesn't mean you forget your roots. Bahamian.
When you have folks like Gajesh who very publicly gets these opportunities, that's a signal for everybody else to hey, if I just put my head down and build, then there's enough and more people to help. So I got a call from Akshay and he said, listen, do you know about anything about crypto? I'm like, no, I've just made a few Bitcoin jokes over the years, but I don't know anything about it. Akshay was like, have you seen Gajesh? Then I started following Gajesh. Then Akshay is really good at, he'll spot like someone who's tweeted something super, super interesting. He'll be like, man, Indian kids are so smart. And he was the one who actually introduced me to a bunch of these guys. And it was his idea. He said, Tanmay, with your distribution, imagine if you could empower hundreds and thousands of these kids to build stuff. So we spent like over 6 months where I would just talk to him every other day and he would just start teaching me about, hey, read about this. And once I understood how Bitcoin works, I said, okay, Akshay, I'm going to try and see if I can make an explainer of how the blockchain works. Which is that you can't just print more cryptocurrency. There is a finite amount. For example, I made that video, it did really well. And then me and Akshay were like, okay, there's clearly an audience who's interested in learning about crypto, not the financial token side of what to buy, what not to buy, but just how does this thing work and why is it interesting?
So we started the Superteam podcast as a way to make content for the crypto native audience.
Hello, welcome to another episode of the Superteam podcast.
Gentlemen, welcome to the Superteam podcast.
Welcome to Anatoly and Raj. Raj, I want to ask you, how Indian are you?
It's our first live in-person interview, and what a guest to have. Brian, welcome to India. Coinbase is officially here.
There were also not a lot of podcasts just talking about, the developer side of things and not trading. And so the community formed around it. And it was sort of like a natural progression to moving that community from the YouTube comment section to a Discord channel of its own.
We got a lot of good things. We got wins of the week. We got state of the DAO, a bunch of new earning opportunities.
So a DAO is a decentralized autonomous organization.
Decentralization does not mean the absence of leader. It means the abundance of leaders. So what happens inside the community is somebody comes up with an idea. They may apply for funding to the Solana Foundation or some other projects who are partners to Superteam. They get the funding. They are now the CEO of that project.
So I was purchasing something in Amazon. I saw there was a gift card field there. And when I switched tabs, I saw that's a gift card platform. Why can't I integrate both of them together? And I first described this idea in Bolt's DMs.
उसने एग्जैक्ट सेंटेंस लिखा था आई हैव $1 million आइडिया इसने डिस्कॉर्ड पे लिखा था मुझे जिसने कहा व्हाट इफ वी कैन
browser extension on demand pay for stuff on Amazon with crypto, integrate Solana Pay, process transaction, buy gift card, insert gift card, process the payment. Holy this is an app that everyone can use.
मतलब बिल्कुल अनरियल लगा जब हमने एक्चुअली फुली बिल्ड किया तो बिल्कुल अनरियल लगा कि लिटरली हम लोग जा रहे हैं वेबसाइट पे हमें मिल रहा है बाय विद StellarSOL का बटन हम बाय विद StellarSOL दबा रहे हैं बिल्कुल Solana पे QR कोड हो रहा है हम स्कैन कर रहे हैं पेमेंट प्रोसीड हो जा रहा है तो इट वाज मैजिकल जब हमने बिल्ड किया एक्चुअली
Let's go. Wins of the week. Here it is. Win number 1. Major W over here for the StellarSOL folks, right? For Bolt, Kunal, and et cetera. The CEO of Circle, arguably the largest payments company in all of crypto, given a retweet to Bolt shouting out StellarSOL. That is fantastic. So shout out to them. W's flooding the chat right now for the fine folks there.
उज्जवल बहुत ज़्यादा मतलब एक्साइटेड था StellarSOL के आइडिया से और वो जनरली बहुत इंटरेस्टेड था StellarSOL में तो हमने उज्जवल को कॉन्टैक्ट किया हमने उज्जवल बताया ये हमारा आइडिया है हम तुम्हें बताते हैं गिफ्ट कार्ड प्रोवाइडर्स कौन है और तुम इसको कम्प्लीटली बिल्ड करो उसके बदले में थोड़ा सा अगर जब कंपनी फॉर्मेशन या कुछ भी रेजिंग होगी तो हमें इतनी % इक्विटी लेंगे
StellarSOL, it was like dream of every crypto person to buy directly on Amazon. Like that is the eventual meaning of a currency that you can exchange it for anything you want. So I was managing the business part and marketing part. Then we also got in a community manager. So after I give boards, I have my exams like in a week. not giving that much consideration to exams. It has happened before. It has been happening like, since the pandemic started. But it no longer bothers me.
Today is my Marathi exam. It's my final exam for this term. And yeah, I'm pretty pumped.
This is very important. Examiner will always ask tolerance and failing because we do it in lab also. Okay.
So it was like meeting friends was not a thing. I never really had that connect from friends. A few good friends were always there. So yeah, that was a bit interrupted. In school, I can't really take a conversation more than 10 minutes. Because between those 2 years of pandemic, I lost that common connect. At home, I always have my laptop or my phone. It's all the same information. Everyone has the same info. So what's the use of school here?
Can I have your papers? 22, 27.
Oh, it's the last day of this term. So yeah, I'm pretty happy because I can like go back to Bahamas and like continue like coding and like get back to like my stuff. So, like last 3 weeks were like I was like all in this and like didn't touch my computer and like anything. Like it was frustrating.
मुश्किल तब आती है जब मैं कोई इंपॉर्टेंट प्रोजेक्ट पे काम कर रहा हूँ और साथ में स्कूल का भी कुछ चीज़ें आने वाली एग्जाम में, जैसे भी करंटली एग्जाम भी आने वाले हैं और StellarSOL को भी काम करना है और सुपर टीम पे भी काम करना है. सो मैं अभी तो थोड़ा सा ये एक मैनेज करना हार्ड हो रहा है.
नॉन मेटल्स आर नो. ठीक है, फॉर एग्जांपल कोल ले लो. ठीक है, अगर हम उसको बैन करेंगे तो क्या सेम रिंगिंग साउंड आएगी?
अगर आज तक उसने कोई चीज़ का प्रैक्टिकल किया नहीं, उसने पढ़ भी लिया है, उसको लिख देंगे तो नंबर आ जाएंगे. प्रोग्रामिंग ऐसा काम नहीं करेगा.
My dad had the same syllabus, I had the same syllabus. So how is it that practical? Even that knowledge, a database can store that in a minute.
How much time you save not going to school? School is usually 7 hours every day, 6 days a week. So yeah, you save around 2,268 hours. How many days is this? Oh wait, you save around 95 days just not going to school. This is like a huge amount of time. Like you can learn or do like so much stuff with this amount of time.
At that time, I had just completed the 10th board. So we decided to wait for a few months and see what happens. The few months was obviously before I joined Superteam.
एक्चुअली क्या होता है कि जब हमारे कोई क्लाइंट्स आते हैं, कोई रिलेटिव्स भी आते हैं, तो बच्चे लोग के लिए बार पूछते हैं कुणाल क्या कर रहा है, कौन सी क्लास में है. तो जब मैं कहता हूँ कि नहीं उसने तो पढ़ाई छोड़ दी है क्लास 10 करके, तो एक सिंपैथी दिखाने की कोशिश करते हैं जिनको नहीं पता कि क्या कर रहा है वो. फिर मैं जब बोलता हूँ घर से काम कर रहा है, फिर जब बताता हूँ तो फिर उनका माने कंसेप्ट चेंज हो जाता है. नहीं उसको पढ़ना चाहिए था, ये है वो है.
I didn't know he was doing this, frankly speaking. And one has been totally out of touch, one because of the pandemic. 2.5 years, one has been totally out of touch. His elder brother also quit after class 10. And I don't know why, what is the reason? Either his parents didn't want him to go to other environments, or it's their choice. It's such a question that you can't ask.
फ्रीडम बोल के वैसे सब फ्रीडम है उसको, वैसे कोई नहीं है. हाँ, बट रेस्ट्रिक्शन में है कि हाँ हम उसे ज़्यादा आउटर वर्ल्ड में ज़्यादा इन्वॉल्व नहीं करना चाहते. जैसे फ्रेंड्स में रेस्ट्रिक्शन थोड़ा सा था कि फ्रेंड्स नहीं बनाने हैं, क्योंकि हमने देखा है कि अगर फ्रेंड्स रहते हैं तो वो लोग आपको उस लाइन में जाने नहीं देंगे जो जिसमें वो जाना चाह रहा है।
तो उसमें मैं यही कोशिश किया हमेशा कि बाहर का कोई इंटरफेरेंस नहीं हो। हम लोग वी आर फैमिली, हम लोग को अपने साथ ही रहना है, उस हिसाब से इन लोग ट्रेनिंग दी है।
This is me.
Sorry, friends.
Friends. Not quotes.
I have friends. I have friends who do better work. I have friends who I can really relate to. And that like-minded friends, that network, it compounds everything. So people who you be with online matters more than physical people.
There we go. Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to the Super Team Community Call. Here we are, September 1st. Switch over to our special guest of the day.
Hello, everybody. My name is Hill. I'm very happy to join this community. I feel like I am fighting for this kind of nerd community for so long, and finally I'm here. Very happy to be here with you guys.
It's good to have you, buddy. Throw a GM in the chat for you as well. Every time we come on these calls, there's more and more cool shit getting shipped, more and more cool teams and ideas being formed, more and more earning opportunities. Like, something is going on here. We're going to see you folks in Delhi at the Hacker House. It's going to be a crazy time. But until then, goodbye, everybody.
The Hacker House is really built for developers. It's built around developers.
The Hacker Houses are a Solana Foundation initiative, so specifically to get more developers to choose to build on Solana.
I talk to projects all the time, and they're like, we are building the best place on Solana.
We formed a bunch of teams where people got to meet each other where they wouldn't have been able to otherwise. Investors got to meet a bunch of teams that they can invest in so people can get the capital to build what they need to build.
The energy in Delhi has been we haven't seen it almost anywhere else at this level.
Seeing the devs in real life is very odd. On the internet, they're very confident. In real life, they're just like normal kids.
The thing was, I have never seen Bolt. I was working with him for like 3-4 months, and all I know Bolt about is his cat picture. I didn't even knew Bolt lived like a few minutes away from me, but I met him online at Superteam Discord.
And next up, we have the team from Superteam called StellarSOL. Let's make some noise.
How's it going, everybody? Sab badhiya? So imagine if you could buy your favorite jalebis from Swiggy or the latest iPhone from Amazon directly through USDC. Well, we are enabling that now. So how do we do it? StellarSOL is a browser extension which you can install in your Firefox browser, Chrome browser, any browser. I will be ordering this shirt with the name Solano. So I'll proceed to check out. So I do have the StellarSOL extension loaded up. You can see the icon on the top right. And at the bottom, you can see there's a footer injected by the extension which says continue with StellarSOL. Ujjwal, can you scan the QR code?
Yep, sure. Yep, I've scanned the QR code with Solana Pay, and here I have the USDC loaded.
It takes a little bit of time for the automation to start. And we have bought the Solano t-shirt using StellarSOL. Thank you.
Hey. Ooh, I like those shirts.
620 plus projects submitted here. We had over 16,000, I think it's over 18,000 people who actually formed teams and started building. So,
Yeah,
how you feeling?
I don't know.
You should be feeling pretty good because you came in second.
Oh!
Kunal, what are you feeling?
I don't know how to express it anymore.
I've known Kunal for about a year now. I've never seen him this speechless.
Yeah.
So this is a major moment for Kunal as well. Too good, man. Too good.
I really wanted Kunal to be there. हम तो बिल्कुल चाहते थे. मैंने तो कितनी बार उज्जवल से मेंशन किया कि कुणाल होता कितना मजा आता. कुणाल को होना चाहिए था. कुणाल ने मिस कर दिया. अब सीधे लिस्बन में मिलेंगे. सेकंड प्राइस का जो अवार्ड है वो 30,000 USD है, विच कन्वर्ट्स इनटू 24 लाख रुपीज़. सो हमने डिसाइड कर रखा है कि हमें कितना परसेंट प्रोजेक्ट में लगाना है, कितना हम अपने पास भी रखेंगे और कितना क्या करना है. सोलाना ब्रेक पॉइंट हर साल अमूमन में ही होता है और इसमें सबसे बिगेस्ट माइंड्स जो हैं पूरे इकोसिस्टम में वो लोग आएंगे, अपने टॉक्स देंगे, उनके पैनल्स होंगे. मेरे पैनल में मेरे दोस्त कुणाल, उज्जवल, अनुष, गजेश सब लोग जाएंगे. हम सबका पैनल भी है हमारा. So yeah, see you in Lisbon.
डिब्रूगढ़ ऐसा टाउन है ना कि मेरे को इंच पता है यहाँ का. राइट. The bounty that I won, I put it all towards my home. So a new home is being constructed right now. This space here is for our cinema. It's gonna be a 200-inch Dolby Atmos setup that we can use to watch any movies or sports. So basically my office is probably gonna be here. I'm gonna set up a standing desk and a bunch of speakers around my office. It will have floor-to-ceiling glass windows so that there's ample light coming from the outside as well. So yeah, this will be my office essentially. So until now, I have invested 100% of what I want into this house. And yeah, it's a good investment if you say, because it's a thing that will last forever. So it's a good investment. हाँ, हम भी वही सोचा था. ये वाला. हाँ, वो सब एलिवेशन के साथ रहेगा. 2D एलिवेशन जो देगा. तो पहले लेकिन इलेक्ट्रिकल लेआउट और प्लम्बिंग लेआउट आएगा.
इतनी कम उम्र में एक सपोर्ट अगर पेरेंट्स को मिलता है बच्चों की तरफ से तो बहुत अच्छा फीलिंग आती है. एक चिंता खत्म हो जाती है. अगर सक्सेसफुल हो जाते हो तो दोस्त यार तो अपने आप बन जाएंगे तुम्हारे. तो उस चीज़ को उसने समझा, उसके हिसाब से फिर अपने आप को चेंज किया उसने काफ़ी कुछ. कभी कभी ख़राब भी लगता है कि भाई छोटे बच्चे में इतनी ज़्यादा जिम्मेदारी, लेकिन वो हमने फोर्स नहीं की, वो अपने आप से इंटरेस्ट लेके उसने ये डेवलप किया.
Anyway, let's head down.
A person is born, he prepares for a college, he gets a job, like tries to get a higher position and like improve skills, get a new company, get a higher pay. That's like the normal cycle of a person. I basically like broke the cycle. Like the university and like the study academic part, I just skipped that part. I'm probably going to the Bahamas in about 1 month. The FTX Armida family is like great. They're like perfect. Like why I want to go is like to get more exposure.
New chaos in the world of cryptocurrency. FTX shocked investors by declaring bankruptcy this week.
This week, the multi-billion-dollar company run by Sam Bankman-Fried crashed. An industry that had boomed, especially during the pandemic, now in free fall.
The collapse of FTX has sent shockwaves across the cryptocurrency industry.
At least $1 billion in client funds disappeared.
The impact of the FTX collapse has been immediate and extensive.
The most trusted guy turned out to be running like a $9 billion scam.
There's something wrong with sweeping somebody's account of their assets. Where is that money?
Now, this is just thievery.
This evening, the U.S. Attorney has confirmed the arrest of FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried in the Bahamas.
The closest thing to the 2008 banking crisis happening in crypto. The entire industry is wrecked.
We're not going to know the full impact of this for weeks. I compare it to Lehman Brothers.
FTX gives a loan to Alameda, which is basically himself. Alameda gives the FTT back to SBF. SBF then gives them actual customer deposits. So he's now stolen all of this money from customers and given it to Alameda so that they can be more effective and they can race faster. Nobody's getting their money back, right? All the money that's in there, if you get anything back, you're gonna get pennies on the dollar.
Sam Bankman-Fried is the devil. He is the devil in crypto. They're trying to permanently ruin it. This is not about money for me.
This is a man who stole $8 to $10 billion from his own customers.
Just reminding you, second biggest crypto exchange in the world, one of the world's richest men ran this. All right, gentlemen. What a difficult week it's been.
All right, so today we have a not so fun of a story. It's fundamentally a tragic story because it's this giant crypto lie, a $30 billion company wiped out in 48 hours. It's honestly the greatest lie that I've ever seen. And so this is going to try and unpack what happened in that lie. Let's start off with Act 1. And in Act 1, we're starting right at the top.
It's incredibly embarrassing for the industry what happened. I felt like this if anything, this is an opportunity to remind people of what we're really here for, which is complete sovereignty and lack of dependence on any institution, any centralized institution.
Okay, so how do I feel about this? SBF. In fact, don't even call him that. Call him by his full name. He's a criminal, Sam Bankman-Fried. I'm absolutely not willing to underwrite the moral guilt for some of the activities that these folks have done over the last, few months, where they have made the entire space feel scammy.
It's not just that an exchange collapsed. It was owned by a really, really reputable person in crypto. So it was not only saddening, it was also disappointing to see this coming from someone like Sam. Now, since Alameda Research is gone, we wouldn't have a lot of easiness in raising funds now.
आबिस को जो है ना, मुझे लगा कि वो काफ़ी बहुत डिप्रेस था, बहुत ही ज़्यादा. ही वॉज डीपली हर्ट. लेकिन ठीक है, फ्यूचर में बहुत सारी चीज़ें और उसको करनी है. अच्छा ही होगा.
After the news, I first of all, cancelled my flight. After FTX paused withdrawals, the first couple of days were really sleepless nights. Sam was I never saw any flaw in Sam. Yeah, and it was very hard to predict. No one predicted that Sam would fail. Literally no one predicted it.
So it kind of hit the fan when they said they have stopped withdrawal. We use FTX we keep money there because we trust them, and we also use them for our payroll. That means that that's a company we have employees, and then the employees' salaries need to be paid, and then there are other operational expenses, right? It's like one fine day I try to withdraw the money, and it's like, can't withdraw your money anymore.
Initially, we planned to like hire more employees, but with the FTX collapse, a lot of our funds were gone in that as well. So right now we can't afford any more employees, and we need to work more with a pay cut as well.
I feel responsible for Kunal because he trusts me, and he has put his belief in whatever we are building to a point where he's like, I'm done with school. This is what I want to be focusing on. And that's such a major decision to take, right? And I feel responsible for it.
I think people were like really angry on like the people who worked in FTX, which was like wrong because like very few people knew in FTX that this whole thing was happening. FTX people themselves got scammed because like they kept their funds as in FTX as a bank. I think my Twitter was like pretty rude. Like one thing I wouldn't do on Twitter is like trolling. Like something I did before, but like something I wouldn't do now.
He is in 9th standard. Okay, so next year you'll be answering his public exams. I've given him full liberty. If you attend physical schools, you attend them. If you want to attend online, go join the online schools. The thing is open for him.
SBF is the reason I'm going to a college, and I will surely hate him for that for the rest of my life. But like, it's a better factor than dad pushing that SBF was in.
Technologies will always be there, right? And it's ever evolving, right? But I think some basic foundation has to be built across. In this domain, frankly, right, which is evolving but having high risk, it is more than earlier essential now that the kids do their formal studies.
Never stop building.
It's quite the code that they have. Despite whatever conditions are there, you should keep on building. FTX is not the entire crypto industry. So there was a saying called build for crypto GitHub and not for crypto Twitter. That's where the tech innovation is happening, and that's where the next cycle will look for.
I was recently thinking of raising funds for StellarSOL so that we can expand our team to more people, because right now we are a very, very small team. In fact, I'm the only one developing StellarSOL. I've seen a lot of developers on Twitter just saying that developers are going to build regardless of whatever the market is, regardless of whatever the situation is. They're going to continue building. The people who are here for the main motives will still continue to stay in it. तो हमने ये ट्रस्ट फैक्टर बेस है, क्रिप्टो करेंसी में से कोई ट्रस्ट फैक्टर नहीं है, इसमें सब लोग जो है ब्लॉकचेन पे कंट्रीब्यूट करते हैं जो माइनर्स होते हैं.
See, during the bull market, there's just a lot of noise and chaos. But during the bear market is where people who truly care about the tech, people who truly care about the fundamentals of crypto, they stick around. Those are the folks who truly take the space forward.
Usually in every bear cycle, like the lower the prices go, the better the quality of the builders you meet. So I'm very happy about that bit, just that bit.
All of crypto was about decentralization, but I think we trusted a person too much. In terms of my personal hero choice, it definitely went sideways.
So now people are pivoting from like centralized exchanges to decentralized wallets. And this change has strengthened like crypto's main motive.
Next thing here is Superteam Build. It has a bunch of ideas for things to build within the Solana ecosystem.
I'm not surprised that the number of folks who attend a community call, that number is going up, because we were never about the price anyways.
Contracts that are running on it also have to be lightweight and fast.
It's called a gut show. This season I wanted to like dedicate it to the bear market and like people who are building in the bear market.
Yeah, pretty good. I'm excited.
Like this is also the way I got into crypto, like being hungry for knowledge and like being hungry to learn something new. So I want to continue to do that.
If you just believe in the idea of having the ownership and account of what you actually own, and no one having control over my money, if you just believe in this simple idea, it's the space for you.
When things get better, you want to be there with an advantage. So if you're building in such conditions and you have an advantage in the next cycle, you will be on top of the world.
We are nothing special. We're just people who decided to show up and build. Things move so quickly in the space that like, it's just about showing up and participating. And who knows, you might build the next amazing thing that changes the world. You might not. At the very least, you're gonna have some fun.
What do I say to people who say, will there be another bull market? I hope so.